All right, good afternoon, guys. Just a little talk about the weather we have going on. Obviously, it's been the same situation for days here now. Locked in with the clouds and off and on rain. One difference now is too much rain in some of our southern counties here. So you're going to see two polygons here for flash flood warnings. This is the first one right here that went out a little while ago. And then a second smaller one went in for Crisp and Wilcox right here, which goes until 7:30. This one had a tagline on there, meaning considerable. It's the thing the Weather Service started doing in the past couple of years to kind of differentiate a warning from something, a little more serious. So when it says considerable, it's talking about not just your usual flash flooding. Between an inch and a half and 3 inches of rain have fallen. An additional 1 to 2 inches are expected in this area. So if you're in this part of Wilcox County, just outside Rochelle, this is where the flash flood warning is. Let's see if we can get anything to pop up here. Not one street. There's one. We've been doing some upgrading on our system today, so it looks like it's a little slow to load this in. But this would be kind of Cordele exit and then heading east toward Rochelle. That's where the flash flood warning is. Just to give you an idea of some rainfall totals, this is over the past 3 hours. And you can see a red spot there. So this would be, 4.5 inches of rain just in the past few hours. So it makes sense that they would issue that warning for that. If you're any low-lying areas between Pineview and Pitts, mainly kind of in the western half of Wilcox County, even Pulaski in there, parts of Crisp, for that flash flood warning. And you can see the rest of our area, as the radar is trying to load itself in, is not showing those same kind of numbers. So this is the reason for that flash flood warning there. Technically goes until 7:30. We'll see if they leave that a little bit longer. And really, if you look at it compared to, let's say, this whole rain event for the past few days, you'll see some bold colors on there. And one of those is this area. Of course, this afternoon has really added to that. So since the whole rain thing started Saturday, over 10 inches of rain in this one spot. Almost half of that has been over just the past couple hours. So that's the reason for that flash flood warning, which again is a little bit more than a normal flash flood warning because of the rate of rain in the past couple hours coming down. Let's see. So mainly you're talking about, small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets, underpasses, as well as other poor drainage and low-lying areas. So if you're familiar with that area and you know some roadways that may tend to kind of flood with a heavy rain, they should probably for sure be flooding on this one because it's putting down a pretty good bit. Other rainfall totals since Saturday, since we started all this, you can see near 10 inches of rain in parts of Macon, Peach to Houston, going around 9 inches there. But obviously with the fresh add-on of rain here in the past couple hours, Wilcox really seeing the highest numbers. All right, so we'll just go around the horn just to do a check-in, just to show you that's the only thing that's a problem. We do have some thunderstorms that are leaving Washington and Johnson counties. As we roll on down, Fruitland and Wheeler have been kind of getting rid of those thunderstorms. There's some rain going around Dublin, but nothing crazy with that. So we don't have any severe weather in the sense of what you would normally think. Most of that is down in South Georgia this afternoon. But we are dealing with that flash flood warning. So if you have been watching TV and you see it scrolling on the bottom of your screen, the reason we wanted to pop on and do a stream with this is because of the warning within a warning. So again, that's the original flash flood warning, Dooley, Crisp, Pulaski, and Wilcox. But then they went in and said, you know what, let's issue another one kind of surgically right here in this particular spot where there's been so much rain in that area. Now, it's still raining lightly here, so the heavy rain's not going on, but there's still a lot of water on the ground in those areas. So you may want to steer clear of that area until it's able to kind of wash off and subside. As we go on through tonight, we can take a look at the high-res model. And it shows, breaks in the action, but more rain still possible tonight. There's around 10, 11 o'clock midnight. 2, 3 in the morning, so we're still not done with it. Let's go forward on the graph model. And it still shows a fair amount of rain. Of course, this one will be updating in a little bit, so we'll see what it does. But this is a 6, 7 o'clock tonight. Looks like a lull for the evening. This one doesn't show as much later tonight, but that could change. Then once we get into Wednesday here, I was talking about yesterday, more sunshine coming in. The wedge maybe trying to back out at that point. Let's take a look at temperatures here. Yeah, looks like it's going to kind of erode tomorrow. So we'll be back somewhere in the mid-80s tomorrow, kind of back to a typical, well, not typical, not mid-90s, but mid-80s, summertime kind of thing, kind of more of the, instead of raining off and on all day, mainly pop-up afternoon showers and storms. Let's take a look at the current numbers and see if the wedge is still there, how much of it's still left. There's some. You can see some of the green there. So just to show you, the cooler air is still in for our northern half. And I did shoot for a high today around 80, saying not sure we're going to get there. I mean, some spots have. We definitely have come up from yesterday, mid to upper 70s. So still somewhat cooler air. A lot of that from the cloud cover and rain we've been seeing. So the 60s, those are gone now. So back to the radar shot. Again, the original reason for popping on this afternoon is that flash flood warning for really Dooley, Crisp, Pulaski, and Wilcox. But the main area is that green polygon inside that other polygon, that one that the arrow is pointing at, for too much rain over a short amount of time. Again, nearly 4 to 5 inches of rain in just the past couple hours inside that green polygon. So again, if you're in the western half, Wilcox and the parts of Dooley on the line, or Crisp on the line right there, this is where the flash flood warning, again with the tagline considerable, is on there. Just means this is not your everyday flash flood warning. Seeing if I see anything new in there. We did ask the Weather Service a little earlier when they upgraded this, because they had the line on here, data suggesting pockets of a 1 out of every 50-year rain event in portions of that warning. That's pretty big words. So then we said, have you seen any specific reports that our newsroom can look into? And they say, so far no reports, just radar indicated high rainfall values and a low historical frequency of those values. So the historical number goes into that, just doesn't happen very much, not that often in this area. So I don't want you to freak like a 1.5 century rain event, but it just means that there's just a lot of rain over a short amount of time in that green polygon. So technically goes until 7:30. We'll see if they keep it going for another 4.5 hours. If it looks like things are subsiding, maybe they'll let it go or they'll just let it ride out. Again, as we go through today, the rest of the day, afternoon into the evening, we'll still have scattered showers, maybe a couple of rumblers. Most of those, though, as I've been mentioning, have been kind of pushing off toward the east now. Still could have a thunderstorm or two in our southern counties. And of course, if any of these were to come up from the south, then that just exacerbates the problem here with that flood warning. So hopefully this light rain will just stay light rain and we won't see anything heavier come in. And just to show you, there is severe weather this afternoon, but it's in a different atmosphere. It's in the much warmer, muggier, energy charged atmosphere for severe thunderstorms down in South Georgia. So we're not seeing that. So yeah, still cool out there with the light rain, not as cool as what we had. We are a little bit warmer. And as we go through tonight, again, pockets of rain, can't rule out a rumble, but it's mainly that flash flood warning again. The big one in the green polygon, this main big green polygon is for Dooley, Crisp, Wilcox, Pulaski, but specifically inside that small area for Wilcox into Crisp. Over 4 inches of rain in the past couple of hours. So that's the reason for that flash flood warning, and the threat line tag says considerable because it's outside the normal kind of flash flood warning there. We'll continue to follow it as we go through the afternoon, see if any other flash flood warnings or any severe thunderstorm warnings or anything like that were to pop up. And if we don't come on here and chat with you, we'll see you at the 5 o'clock show coming up a little later.
right, well, it's kind of a split day across our area today. For a lot of folks, it's like what you can see in the Macon, Warner Robins, and Perry Skycam. Mostly cloud cover this morning and a couple of showers as well. But for others, it's like it is in Dublin. A few peaks of sunshine today for the first time in a while. The numbers are cool where there's clouds, 74 degrees in Warner Robins, but this map shows you that this consistent wedge pattern that we've had across the area is not in place for everybody heading into the rest of the day today. Our southeastern counties are sitting in the mid to upper 80s, so the wedge is starting to weaken down in those areas. For our northwestern counties, not so much. We're still well into kind of that cooler, drier air. Up here, the temperatures are only in the upper 60s and low 70s. So a pretty stark difference from our northeastern or our northwestern down to our southeastern counties here, not only in terms of temperatures, but also in terms of the mugginess in the air. Way muggier down further towards the south, a bit drier further towards the north. So the wedge is still in our area, hanging on to some of the luckier areas. That will continue to bring the on and off rain and the cloud cover to those spots throughout the day. A couple of thunderstorms are possible outside of the wedge. The cooler spots will stay in the low 80s. The warmer spots will climb into the low 90s. So here's a look at the satellite and radar right now. Again, you can tell where the wedge is in place and where it's not. We're talking about our northern counties continuing to see that light to sometimes steady rain. Down in the center of central Georgia, maybe not quite as many showers. And then south of where the wedge has kind of broken down, you can see this is more transitioning to a couple of thunderstorms in this region. So that will be the pattern for the rest of the day today, but across the entire area, rain is going to be widespread. We are still under this flood watch all the way until tomorrow night because these showers and storms have just been really efficient rainfall producers. We've seen some pretty crazy totals over the past couple of days. And again, this pattern is not really breaking up much as we head into the next couple of days. This stationary boundary here continues to fuel a whole lot of moisture into our area, bringing us the chance for showers and storms probably into the rest of the week. So here's a look at the rest of the day. Again, on and off rain for the spots under the wedge, a couple of thunderstorms for the areas outside of the wedge. Heading into Wednesday, maybe a touch drier, but I still think despite what the models are showing, there's a chance for kind of that on and off rain pattern to continue. By the time we hit Thursday, I think things will start drying up a bit, but we may return the rain chances as we head into the weekend due to the chance for that potential tropical system off the coast to develop. So you can see that there on the 7-day. The rain chances a bit up and down through the rest of the week. We'll continue to have the chance for scattered showers all the way into the weekend. The numbers will eventually find their way back to a warmer number. We'll be warming up into the upper 80s, seeing 90 by the time we kick off next work week.